Okay, before you get too excited, at the moment, this is not happening yet. It's like late November. No campaign has started. Chill. But I thought I would kind of share my process as I go about building a West Marches campaign from, start to, I guess, finish. This is going to be kind of a diary, academy, I don't know, type, if you will, of my process in figuring all of this out. So for this first part, we're going to be talking about what it is, why I'm doing it, what I'm doing that's probably different than other people and likely to get me in trouble. Also just general setup of this style of campaign, including, the tools I'm going to be using, maybe a little bit of the world I'm introducing at the end if we have time for that. This is not by any means a step-by-step tutorial. I honestly expect this to take multiple parts, so a mini series, but I say it's not a tutorial because I honestly have no experience running a West Marches campaign. Yes, I know, I like to just jump in, but you gotta start somewhere. That said, I have found little to no help in this realm about starting a campaign and like using some of these digital tools. And so I'm gonna share what I'm doing with you guys. Hopefully it spurs ideas for your own campaigns or your own West Marches. Hopefully you learn from my mistakes because I'm sure there'll be plenty of them. So just consider this little series as a mini dump of all the things I have found out about West Marches campaigns. Okay, as I mentioned before, this game is not running yet. When it is, it will be hosted on my Discord channel. So if you're interested in it, you could join the Discord server and get updates there. There will have to be a cap on players and GMs. What that cap is, I haven't decided yet. Kind of depends on, how things are going. Without further ado, let's dive into this little mini part series. So what's a West Marches campaign? I'm not going to rehash all this. There are plenty of people out there on the internet that have already hashed what a West Marches is. I'm going to talk to you about the things that I think are key and that are going to lead me into what I'm prepping and why. The Spark Notes version, for those of you who live under a rock like me. Here are the key points of a West Marches campaign, in my opinion. Players start and end each campaign session within their home base. Players schedule the sessions with DMs, and there can be both multiple DMs as well as multiple players, like almost unlimited amounts, almost. And essentially you have a very flexible, exploration-based serial game, all right? I explained that in like a minute. Hopefully that helps. Why do I want to run one? Well, if you were around in this last year when I was run my one-shot streams, I honestly loved doing those. I loved doing them because I got to meet people in the community. I got to play games with you guys. That became a problem because there were lots of people who wanted to play but didn't want to stream or didn't want to be recorded, or the biggest culprit, of course, being the schedule. We had it on the last Saturday of every month. If you're live streaming, it offers that added complication of if the stream stuff isn't working, then what do? Two people can't make it, then you have to cancel the stream. It just got to be a lot. There are also plenty of people who wanted to run things but not be streamed. So I just ended up closing that stream down, unfortunately, because it felt like it was more work trying to get people together and do it than it equated to fun for me. I still want to give back to the community. I still want to run games for you guys because I still love doing that. But I also want people to take a more active role in it. It felt like I was doing everything. Unfortunately, I run a very busy life, so I was hoping that a West Marches could help in that regard. Because again, the players are the ones picking the quests, picking what they want to do, who they adventure with, and even the time slot. I mean, I would provide when I was available, but they choose the time slot. Couldn't do things a little bit differently because why would I ever make things easy for myself? The plan is to have at least 2 other GMs with me who are going to be regular GMs to help me run this game, as well as have people come and go if they want to run games in the world in order to do one-shots for the community and have other GMs participate as well when they are able. The other big thing that I'm going to do that I'm not sure a lot of West Marches campaigns do is I'm going to have world events. I've been low-key lurking in a friend's West Marches style Discord, and he actually does that. These massive events where multiple tables are all doing things that all equate to one goal, and I think that's really cool and collaborative, and that's the thing that I like most about tabletop games and just my community in general, is that we've come together and we collaborate on things, and I want to, of course, push that into my West Marches campaign. So after all of my research, here are the things I think that I will need, okay? Again, not a tutorial, because I'm not, who knows? I might need more than this. I'm sure I need more than this. This is not all inclusive. Don't take these as recommendations, because I'm new to West Marches campaigns. I've run campaigns before, but this is just different enough. These are the things I think I'm gonna need for setup. Of course, is the world. I have it already. This is where I'm gonna get into trouble. I could use a pre-made setting and be done with it. I don't want to. I have this homebrew world that I absolutely love. I'm actually writing a novel in it. I've also run homebrew games in it, and it kind of lends itself nicely to the West Marches campaign style, but world is kind of a broad term, right? So the things I need to more directly lay out here, obviously a map. Nothing too crazy. I'm not even gonna put a lot of stuff on it because I think that would make prep work way too long. I just want to put major landmarks, things like terrain changes, like if it moves into a desert or into a forest, rivers, and then like mountain ranges, etc. Like major natural landscape markers. That's it for the map. Then the rest, I want the players to fill in. Of course, I also, for world, will need to kind of go over religions, tech, and magic, because they are not super different, but a little bit different. And I want to have those all written up and what I'm including. And I need to be able to spell it out both to players and to my 2 GMs. Of course, I'm going to allow my GMs a lot of leeway here to help make this world even better and help put their own spin on things. So hopefully I have 2 people in mind, and if they want to do it, that'll be great. If not, I hope that the people that I end up working with will actually want to build this world with me. I do have a big bad evil guy planned for this, and I have that as the major world events, things that won't happen often, but might affect the whole group. But I also need to make room for other antagonists. I want to make sure that if my GMs want to throw in their own bad guy, they can have the room and the space to have their own arcs of stories, and players are able to follow that one if they don't care about mine. In that underlying world title, we also have the home base and, of course, the goal of the players. Those are 2 really major things. Obviously, the home base has to be safe, secure, but it has to be where they get everything. Supplies, where they live, where they could get magic items or craft things. That's the RP part, is gonna happen a lot in town. I have some ideas, but I think that'll be a lot of pulling from other resources I have and plopping it into the city. And obviously the overall reason that the players are even here, right? Why are their characters in this area? What are they doing? I have that already figured out as well. But I think that's fundamental to a West Marches campaign. Why have they decided to do this exploration, and what keeps pushing them to explore? I think in that part will also include some sort of point system. I think the point system will be something that all players are going to be working towards, and I think that will denote several things, like level ups. I think maybe moving from one tier to the next for leveling up, but also I think could encourage, cooperative play. It could be, maybe number of quests succeeded, and then maybe a world event could happen, or better items release in the shops, those kind of things. So I want to figure out that point system, what it means, all of that, to kind of keep people working together, because I'm a little bit afraid of having a toxic community. That's my biggest fear. I've always wanted my community to be wholesome and collaborative and keep people happy and helping each other, because that's the whole reason I make this channel, is to help you guys with Foundry or with DMing or whatever. And so I want that to continue in this West Marches thing. So I'm trying to figure out ways to keep people being collaborative and working together. Outside of World, we also need a forum. That's another fundamental thing where people can talk about it. This will obviously be a special section in the Discord For me in particular, because I already have a Discord server, I'm going to have to provide roles for both GMs and players in that world. But in there, I think it has to include a quest board and a place for scheduling with DMs, either there or maybe in a database somewhere. I also want a place somewhere for session summaries, and I would like to reward points to people for session summaries because I would love to read what they think is happening in the game. And then I also really want to try to have the players building the map together, and that might fail. And if it does, then we'll just go to Fog of War on a VTT. But you have an idea that might work with tiles and Foundry, and you know, West Marches is supposed to be pretty flexible, so if it doesn't work, there's always a plan B. Next, I need a place for scheduling and planning and calendars. I think I want to separate things out into seasons so that GMs can also get a break in between seasons and we can prep stuff or do whatever, maybe take like a 2-month break just so we don't hit burnout either, and we can reevaluate how things are going. And then I want to include like a database somewhere for the quest log, for the character tracking. I want the point tracking, and I want it to be invisible. I want it to be visible for both players and accessible for GMs to edit. That would also be the place where I want to keep rules stashed, how many characters a player can have, how many players per quest are we allowed, or any other like house rules, like what about flanking or critical hits or whatever general rules to go there, so we're all under the same understanding. So when it comes to this first part, here are the tools I've decided to try using. This might change, who knows? But for now, this is what I'm gonna start with. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer for this one, but I know someone somewhere is gonna be like, why didn't you use Google Docs? Or why wouldn't you use Obsidian? Or there's this app specifically made for that. Here's why I'm doing these, mostly because I'm familiar with them. Discord, obviously, is going to be for RP, chatting, announcements. It's the forum. It's where the players can chat with each other, talk about quests, and etc. I have a history with Discord, and it's one of the easier ones, and you can set it up for free. The next one, of course, is Foundry VTT, which will host the big overall map, possibly host character data. I'm a little bit worried about that because of all the version updates and things that you can do with Foundry. I just worry that it might mess up people's characters, so who knows. But it could include also shop inventory for the home base and image resources, things like that, anything that GMs want to share in there. But I think it would be a central location for everybody, so everybody could see the map, everybody could see each other's characters. I also think that if we did put all the characters in there, maybe they could export them, because you can export characters, and then we could take that and import it into the GM's like personal Foundry, so that way that one is just always up and running and anyone can have access to it. I think that will be a pain, but I guess I don't know until I try. I also think it would be great for journal entries, so then if people are doing session summaries, we can put them on there and they won't get lost in the chats, because that happens a lot for me. The other thing that I think I'm going to use is Notion. I actually use Notion for work. It's how I keep track of inventory for all of my notebooks, as well as paper inventory, like the shipments I get in. I track YouTube videos on there. I track everything in one place in Notion, so I'm very familiar with it. But it's essentially a huge database, and you can put whatever you want inside, and you can connect the pages and connect the databases together so that it's all in one place. I like this idea better than having a million different Google Docs that we have to click links to and go to. The only unfortunate part is that I will probably have to pay for it if I want to allow more than one GM to access it. Does mean a monthly cost for me, but I think it would be worth it. I think that's good for the first part. We didn't get into the world building, but this is already 20 minutes of content for me to edit, which I'm sure there's also a lot of so it won't equate to that once I post it. But I think in the next part, we'll conquer some of the world aspect and what I did to create that world, which might help other people for creating any kind of world, not just for West Marches campaigns, but any kind of campaign. And I will provide that in the next video. So I will see you in the next one.